What if you were told that human creativity is about to solve yet another geographical problem by creating a hanging structure that will rise above the waters of the Detroit River? From soaring towers to mammoth cables and a commitment to sustainability, the engineering behind the Gordie Howe International Bridge is totally insane. Once completed in 2025, it will be the longest cable-stayed bridge in North America. In terms of size and scope, no other border infrastructure project compares to the Gordie Howe International Bridge project between Canada and the US. The four major components of the complex project are the bridge, ports of entry in both countries, and the Michigan interchange I-75. It needs a lot of planning, close attention to detail, and new ways of designing and building. Its creators, an engineering company formerly known for building skyscrapers, have dubbed it the strangest bridge ever built. Why is the Gordie Howe International Bridge being built? And what are the technologies used to build the longest cable-stayed bridge in North America? The passage across the Detroit River between the United States and Canada has been an important traffic route since the American Civil War, with ferries transporting goods and people across the river. The Michigan Central Railway Tunnel was opened in July 1910. The Ambassador Bridge for road traffic opened in November 1929, and the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel was opened in 1930. But this is where the issue lies. The Ambassador Bridge is a 7,500-foot structure that McClintock Marshall, the same company that created the renowned Golden Gate Bridge, designed. This grand design connects the bustling cities of Detroit, Michigan in America and Windsor, Ontario in Canada, with nearly 25% of US-Canada border crossings by trucks using the bridge. Every day, around 10,000 vehicles traverse its length, carrying goods worth over $120 billion annually. The Detroit International Bridge Company owns the Ambassador Bridge privately, which is a unique arrangement that somewhat controversially sees toll collection and vehicle inspection fees go straight into the owner's pocket. Some have voiced their disapproval of the Ambassador Bridge due to its monopoly status, as no trucks are allowed to use the tunnel, the fact that billionaire Manuel Maroon owns it privately, and the lackluster record of maintenance it has received. Both the bridge and the road tunnel lack direct highway connections on the Canadian side, with city streets and traffic lights between them and Ontario Highway 401. Although it has been painted over time, the Ambassador Bridge is beginning to show its age. Traffic jams happen when there is a lot of traffic, which can cause long wait times at the border and have a big effect on the economy. Due to its aging structure, limited government control over proceedings, and heavy congestion, the Ambassador Bridge is not ideal for modern needs. Here is where the grand solution in the form of the Gordie Howe International Bridge becomes significant. Named for a legendary ice hockey player, this fresh promise aims to streamline traffic between the two nations. As a modern, high-tech cable-stayed bridge, it stands for progress and is ready to handle the increased commercial activity of today with ease. And the cherry on top is economic growth. By establishing a quicker and more dependable connection across national borders, the Gordie Howe International Bridge could potentially give the local economy a much-needed boost, thereby securing its future. Unlike traditional bridges, this one's a cable-stayed beauty. It'll be the longest of its kind in North America once completed, with a total length of 1.5 miles, with the main towers rising an impressive 752 feet above the ground. That's taller than the Washington Monument. A little bit less known, this guy is the first bridge over the Detroit River that'll have dedicated multi-use paths for pedestrians and cyclists. The bridge's approach spans are designed to accommodate vessels up to 100 feet in length and 18 feet wide, according to the Michigan Department of Transportation. The Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority and Bridging North America have over 150 engineers working on the Gordie Howe International Bridge project. Crews are using an unbalanced cantilever system or stick-built bridge construction approach. Starting from the towers placed in Windsor and Detroit, construction moves outward over the river, one segment at a time, meeting in the middle of the bridge. One main span section with two approach spans, an intermediate midpoint support tower, and a pedestrian walkway connecting both halves of the bridge. The main span measures 2 lanes wide, with two 12-meter wide arms that run parallel to each other on either side of its central axis. Each arm has its own deck surface, but it also connects to another deck surface below via 5 cantilevering struts attached to pylons above them. The Gordie Howe International Bridge is going to be something of a night owl because it is designed with aesthetic lighting that'll make it a sight to behold after sundown. Talking about the winds, the engineering have got that covered too. The bridge is designed to withstand the fiercest Detroit River winds. On those windy days, no more rides where you feel like you could break. Moreover, it features an impressive array of public artworks, with local artists contributing to the bridge, reflecting the commitment to efficiency, aesthetics, and environmental consideration. The first section of the bridge will be 1,050 feet tall, taller than Niagara Falls, and spans 930 feet across the Detroit River, from Windsor to Detroit. A second section will follow at a similar level of height, 650 feet for each end. The final piece will be 150 feet long, making it one of the longest cable-stayed bridges in North America when completed. The bridge is the longest cable-stayed bridge in North America, which means it has a main span of 770 meters and supports itself using cables that run between two towers. The entire structure is made up of 2,842 precast concrete segments weighing over 4 million pounds each. The international crossing we are talking about is expected to boost trade between Canada and the US by $6 billion annually in goods alone, and that doesn't include passenger traffic or other forms of travel. The remarkable infrastructure of the Gordie Howe International Bridge costs 5.7 billion Canadian dollars and is expected to be completed in 2025, spanning 74 months. This bridge is set to replace an aging infrastructure and will help boost trade between Canada and the US. Building a bridge of the magnitude of the Gordie Howe International Bridge involves substantial costs. The estimated price tag for the entire project is $4.4 billion US. This cost includes not just the building of the bridge itself, but also the design and construction of the ports of entry and the highway interchanges in both the US and Canada. But there will be huge monetary upsides to the Gordie Howe International Bridge project as well. On both sides of the border, it is anticipated that the construction phase alone will generate approximately 2,500 jobs, contributing to an economic boost. As it eases the flow of goods and reduces transit times, businesses from manufacturing to agriculture can reap benefits through more efficient supply chains. The U.S. Department of Transportation estimates that border delays currently cost the U.S. and Canadian economies $17.6 billion per year. In a big way, the Gordie Howe Bridge's upgraded infrastructure and expanded capacity will reduce those expenses. Without a doubt, an undertaking of this magnitude does not come around every generation. Not only will the project improve transportation for international travelers, but it will also create growth opportunities in the Windsor-Detroit region. What would it mean to have this massive bridge as your daily commute pathway, easing your travel between the US and Canada? Tell us in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please do like, share, and hit the bell icon. See you in the next video.